What's good, everybody? It's your boy Matthew Manley for MatthewManley.com. As you can tell, we are in the poker room. Time for another poker recap video. So as you guys know, I have been attempting to hit up the Wednesday night 7:15 tournament at Casino Arizona Talking Stick as regularly as I can. Pretty easy tournament, at least for the first couple breaks. Then it gets a little crazy, but for the first couple, you get some good cards. So if you're trying to hit it, 130 isn't bad, plus a $10 add-on, and you start with 7,500 chips. So pretty decent for a 20-minute blind tournament. So had gotten there. I've been trying to get there as early as I can on Wednesday to play all day, and then try to free roll my way into the tournament. Haven't been able to yet, but regardless, just end up playing. So another Wednesday, played again, and actually didn't end up getting to the casino until about 6:15, 6:30. So I ended up not sitting anything, just sat down. I've been reading the Gus Hansen book again, Every Hand Revealed, which is actually a really good book if you have some poker knowledge already and you want to kind of see inside the head of a madman. Check it out. It is all written by Gus Hansen. He actually goes through every single hand that he played when he won the 2007 Aussie Millions tournament. So it's really cool with his breakdown and his description of each hand and why he did what and how he misplayed a hand. Gus is a very cool writing style. He's very blunt. He's very honest. So it's kind of cool seeing him say, I don't know what the hell I was thinking there. It's cool to see his honesty, but I definitely recommend it. It's not as much of a beginner book, even though a lot of the theory isn't too in-depth. You need to have a good knowledge base of Texas Hold'em before you really go into it. So, sorry, I got off a little tangent there. But I ended up reading the book for a little while, and just kind of chilled out. So, I ended up getting into the tournament. From the beginning, I found that I knew a couple of people at my table. One guy's name's Chris something. I played with him a bunch, especially this tournament. I guess he's one of the most well-known players there. He's constantly ranked, constantly doing really well. So I played with him before. I knew he was a pretty solid player. Kind of told myself stay away from him a little bit. But pretty quickly, I actually, started picking up some hands, ace-queens, ace-jacks, king tens, hands like that, mostly in decent position. So I actually raised the very first hand of the tournament because we were short-handed at the table. We only had four-handed. So I raised very first hand, took it down. Second hand, literally, I had barely even got my headphones out, and this guy gets knocked out. And he was bluffing the whole way down. He fired 3 bullets into this thing with king-jack offsuit. And this chick called him all the way down with pocket deuces on an ace-9. I want to say like an ace-9, queen 4, 7 board. I mean, a scary board to call all the way down with deuces. And she did it. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So I already was geared up for a rather interesting run there. But 3 heads later, I picked up ace-queen, raised, took down that pot. Then a few heads after that, picked up pocket 8s, raised, got 2 calls, bet on the flop, took down that pot. So I was grinding it out pretty well. Then, sadly, caught a pretty cooler hand, if you will. I had jack 9. Flop came up jack, I want to say jack 7, 6, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and then turn, I actually checked, guy bet, I called. Probably could have raised there, but didn't. I mean, I felt good about my top pair. Didn't feel great about my kicker, but I was kind of in that check call. If I was online, I clicked the check call box. Turn card came out, another blank. Again, I checked. Again, I called, and the river, same thing. Of course, this guy jack 10. I jack 9. 10 played. Damn. So that hand cost me a pretty penny. Got me back down to about even. All the work that I've been doing brought me back down to about even for the tournament, but still pretty decent. Then I had a couple a little bit of a run of just some bad cards. It was right about the first break, right before the first break. So it was the last level before the first break, and just kind of got unlucky. I got a couple of hands. I picked up an ace-10. And then flopped an ace. I'd raised pre-flop, bet the flop, bet the turn, bet the river, guy at ace-jack. I mean, at the end of the day, what are you going to do with that hand? You know, you raise pre-flop, you get called. You bet the flop, you get called. You bet the turn, you get called. I mean, sure, maybe I could have, you know, gotten away on the river, but in the same sense, he just as easily could have had ace-9, you know? And, you know, especially as a person I had played before with, so I don't know. I really felt that I was good where I was at. If he would have raised on the flop, I probably could have gotten away from it. But the fact that he simply check called all the way down, I just kind of got unlucky with that. So that hand hurt me. And then I had a hand with ace-7 of spades. I was under the gun. And again, this is what I get for playing bad cards out of position. I ended up just smooth calling. I was trying to play a little bit of small ball because my stack was, I was a little bit low. I was trying to keep the pot size small. And there wasn't really anybody at the table that I was too worried about. So I felt that I could outplay most people after the flop, at least decently. So flop, of course, middle pair and 4 to the flush. Flop came up like, I think it was like queen, 7, blank. The queen and the blank, both of spades. So I'm pretty happy about that, honestly. And guy bets out. I check it. I figured I'm gonna slow play this. We'll see what happens. You know, I wasn't too scared of seeing another card because I was hoping it was a spade. Sure, I probably could have bet out there and cleaned out some of the riffraff if somebody had a queen, but whatever. So I end up just checking. It gets bet in the dealer button versus other button bets. I think maybe it's position bet. I end up calling. I should have raised. I should have raised to at least had an idea where I was at with my 7. But the other thought of me was like, well, hey, if I just call and the spade peels off, you know, well, I don't know. That was a dumb play. I'll admit that. I should have raised because then, in a way, I can look like I'm trying to defend against the spade coming. Then if it does come, I possibly could defend my hand there. So I should have raised. That was just stupid. Dummy right here. So I only call. Turn card comes a blank. Okay. Well, now by me calling on the flop, I pretty much have said, hey, I have a spade flush draw. If you don't have something other than spades, you better get me out of the pot. And sure enough, the guy ends up, I check again, and the guy ends up making a pretty sizable bet, like pretty much pot-sized bet. And since I already made one mistake at the pot, decided to make another one, and I called. Ended up, river card hit a king. King was not of spades. So now I've got, I believe, 4th pair at this point. And I couldn't call. He ended up, I checked again. He ended up putting in an all-in size bet, essentially. And I thought about it for a while. And maybe I could have made a hero call. Maybe he was on a busted flush draw as well. But I just really didn't feel it. So I ended up letting the pot go. And that one really hurt me. Really hurt me. But ended up probably 3-4 hands after that, picked up ace-king. And by this point, I'm down to about 5,000 chips. Maybe 6,000 chips. But I'm still down. Especially because I had built it up to probably about 9,000, 10,000. So I had gotten to hurt. Ended up going to break, whatever. Coming back, probably about 100 people left. Started about, I think, 140 or so. Pick up ace-king. Okay, awesome. Love that. So it comes around to me. I end up putting in a raise and get 3 callers. Okay, cool. Whatever. Flop comes up. You know, I'm sorry, I had ace-queen. I'm sorry, I had ace-queen. And I raised, got 3 callers. So at this point, I'm wanting to see a queen. I don't really want to see an ace. Yeah, ace-queen's still good, but who knows? Somebody's playing tricky with that ace-king and get out of trouble. So my wishes are granted. And the board comes up queen. I believe it was queen 7-4, queen 8-4. There was a queen and 4 over there, but I'm not sure what the middle card was. Rainbow. Beautiful. This is as good as it can get for me, right? So I bet. Person re-raises. I shove. Instant calls. So I'm great. They spike a sad. Nope. Awesome. King, queen, ace, queen. No king ball pulls off. Double up. Perfect. With that pot, I pull up to like, that got me close to 12, 13-ish. So above average in chips by a little bit, not by a whole lot, but by a little bit. Feel good, you know, felt like, all right, this hand got me going, cool. Couple hands later, I pick up pocket 7s. End up, I was actually in the big blind, I think. No, I'm sorry. I was like second or third act and I called. Then it got around to a cutoff shoves. Comes around, and then after me, two people had called as well. So I was really just trying to set mine, whatever. So comes around, everybody folds to me. And there's still two people, two people to act after me. So I look at my sevens, and honestly, if I had been last to act, I probably would have called because I really felt that I was racing. The thing was, is the person had a decent number of chips. They had probably about 8,000 chips. So really, at that point, if I had called and lost, I was playing for damn near my whole stack. But I ended up thinking about it for a minute and looked at it a few times. I ended up bucking. All right, whatever, I ended up actually would not have won. The other guy who called ended up calling with pocket fours, and the pocket fours held up. The person had shoved with, I want to say, like King Jack or King 10 offsuit, and the pocket fours held up. So, if I had called, the other guy would have gone away, he said, and I would have taken it down. But I mucked, and whatever, he took it down. So, person gets knocked out, whatever. So 2 hands later, I pick up pocket sevens again. And this time, I think I bet 3 or 4 hands later because I'm on the button. Either button or cut off. So goes around, person opens it, raises 3 or 4 times the big blind. With, I want to say, probably in the cutoff. Comes to me, I end up calling with my sevens, and everybody else folds. Flop comes up, queen 4 tray. And I don't know why, but I just got this read that he was sitting on ace king. I just had this feeling he was on ace king. So he ends up making a decent bet. And I had already decided in my mind I was shoving. Just by the way he bet. I had already decided the way he bet made me feel 2 picture cards. Not pair, no, just a high card. Ace jack, maybe ace 10, maybe king jack, maybe ace king. No queen. No pair, no queen. I feel good about this. And I had already decided in my mind I'm shoving. Little background, the reason that I felt this, and I realized it after the pot, it was completely subconscious, as weird as this is. But there was a big hand, and I know I've referenced before, when I took 3rd place in the World Series Circuit event, 2010, I had a really big pot where I made a great move on a guy with pocket sevens. He had ace king. I called him down to his hand. I shoved, totally outplayed him. It was beautiful. And that happened again in my mind. I had already decided that this guy had ace king, so in my mind I was reenacting what had happened a year and a half before. So as soon as the bet was a small bet, and it really was like a probe type of bet. I felt like a smaller continuation bet. And now in hindsight, it was a perfect bet saying raise me, raise me, raise me. Well, I didn't look at it that way. I looked at it as a I'm weak, steal this pot away from me bet, and I shoved. And almost instantaneously, dude calls. And not only did he have 1 queen, it would have been bad enough if he had ace queen. No. This dude had pocket queens. So I was drawing to 2 outs pre-flop, and sure enough, he hit one of his outs. Not like he needed it or anything. Then, just to add insult to injury, he ends up quadding on the river and pulls the 4th queen. So my sevens were murdered. I didn't run a runner on the turn, but obviously it didn't happen. And I am getting knocked out. And I was pissed with myself because I overplayed the hand. I could have gotten away from it. Yes, you have to go with your reads sometimes, but at the same time, I really feel like I overplayed it. Like I could have gotten away, and I didn't. And it really irritated me, honestly. I was really salty about that. And was just pretty pissed, honestly. I ended up dipping straight after that. I didn't even want to think about it. I was just upset with myself. I wasn't upset with how the hand played. I was upset with myself for making that play when I didn't need to. Now that I think about it, I could have easily simply re-raised instead of shoving all in. The guy had made it like 1,500, I believe, 1,600. I could have raised to 4,500, 4 grand even, and seen where I was at, because technically that bet would have done the exact same thing. Sure, there's that chance that he makes the hero raise with ace king and shoves and puts me to a test. But if he made that move, I'd be pretty impressed, honestly. But I could have gotten the exact same result outside of that. Probably 10% I'll say that he makes that play. So 90% of the time, if I simply raise to 4,000, 4,500, I save 7, 8 grand of chips and get the exact same result. Those are the type of things I need to figure out better. As a poker player, I need to think that through. Every time Phil Ivey makes a move, every time Daniel Negreanu makes a move, they think about that. Before they make that move, they have that warning light that says, wait, why are you making this all-in bet? And I had gotten so caught up in the hand that I just made the bet. I just said, oh, well, this is what I'm going to do. I'm all in. And there was no point. Yeah, you get that added bonus of saying all in, which sometimes does have a mental effect on people. I admit that. So, yeah, that maybe I'll say, the mental effect you get from all in is about 10%. So that evens out about the 10% that he's going to make the hero raise with ace king. So we'll even say 80% of the time. 80% of the time, I could have gotten the exact same result raising to 4,000 instead of shoving my whole stack. It was just a bad play, and it's the type of play that I need to get better at. It's the type of play that I need to mentally understand on the fly. You know, I need that on the fly. I don't need that talking to a camera or talking to my boy afterwards or any of that. I need it on the fly before I make the move. So was a little heated about that. Ended up losing and went out about 100th place or so. I don't even remember. It was something like that. So at the end of the day, I definitely could have played better. I'm upset about that. And another $140, weekly tournament that went south. So it is what it is. Definitely a learning experience. And I was talking about boy Frankie afterwards. And honestly, I really feel that it was worth the knowledge. It was a $140 lesson. But at the end of the day, it made me really think of it. And when I was explaining it to him, he really didn't even, he was really impressed that I even had that thought process, So it was cool getting to talk with him and see that my thought process was on point. And now if I could just get that to be on point before I make the move, would be really good. So, once again, I am Matthew Bailey for MatthewBailey.com. This has been another poker recap video from the $140 7:15 p.m. Talking Stick Casino Arizona Nightly No Limit Texas Hold'em Tournament. Wow, that was a mouthful. And there you go. So, let me know what you guys think. Do you think I'm right by how I described that hand with the sevens versus the queens? Really, what was the point of going all in? I know that you get that benefit of saying I'm all in, but at the end of the day, was it really worth it? I don't think so. Let me know what you guys think. Always want to know, what do you think I should have done? Should I have simply gotten it out of the hand pre-flop with the sevens? Should I have simply gotten out of the hand when he bet? Should I simply, if I was so set on raising just to see where I was at, should I have only raised to 4,000? Or maybe even only double his to like 3,000 or 3,200? Or what do you recommend? So I always like to hear what you guys have to say. Definitely shout out to everybody been dropping me comments, been giving me some poker advice and info. I love hearing it. So even if I don't agree with you, I still love hearing it. So as always, thank you guys for checking out my videos. I am Matthew Bailey for MatthewBailey.com. Of course, you can always check out the rest of my videos on MatthewBailey.com. Or you can check me out on YouTube. Search for Matthew Bailey Poker. You got all my videos on there. About like 250 of them now, I think. So you can like, comment, and subscribe to my videos. Be the first one to know next time something traps. Or like your boy's page on Facebook. Search for Matthew Bailey Poker. Stay tuned. As always, posting all kinds of news up on there. And finally, as always, you can follow your boy on Twitter at Matthew Bailey. Posting all kinds of stuff about sports, about movies, music, cars, Vegas, everything. So, till the next video, I'm officially signing off. Hope everybody's having a great week. Happy hump day, y'all. Peace out.